Hello? Anything working? Did I break anything? No! Brilliant. I love when that happens. Hello, welcome back. This is going to be a shorter work stream. Sorry it took a little bit to get started though. I forgot I didn't have the cookums from last stream done. I also need to get set up a little bit. I wonder why I was a little bit late to begin with. Or why I had planned for it to be a little bit late. I'm realizing, even at this point, you have no way of knowing that. Oops. Basically, I just woke up very fucking late. Who would have guessed multiple all-nighters will knock you the fuck out a little bit? Not me, that's for sure. Are all the sounds... Oh, yeah, it's going fine. Good. Oh. Working on a different project now. Yeah, maybe not excited, but I'm excited to have a project done. I think it's more accurate. But we shall see. Excitement is warranted. Because I need to have the other project done. Actually, let me see that. Okay. Good. So now I need to work on another project now, which is also horrifyingly behind schedule. Even more horrifyingly behind schedule, actually. But we'll fucking deal with that. Now is actually when we're dealing with that, because the plan is to get... Really, the plan is just to look at where I'm at, or where I was at, because... When was the last... Bleh. The last time I fucking... Is that really the most update? Oh, why are you not? Okay. Yeah, I have not fucking worked on this one in... Jesus, what would that even be? 6 months! Right. Specifically, I just stopped working on it, actually. I'm almost certain, because I started working on Sword Timber. You know, the fucking thing I just got one of the builds done for. Like 5 months late. Yeah, this is why all of my fucking projects are so far behind and why I haven't posted anything in like 7 months. Because I kept fucking getting 80% of the way through a project and then being distracted by a different project. Evening, Camel. How's it going? Hope things aren't too cold where you are. There we go. Chat's not broken this stream. Hooray. Okay. Apparently, I'm actually 10 paragraphs deep into fucking voiceover editing. Maybe that was rough cut? Or the usual rough cut? Cold? Yeah. Yeah, I heard. Thanks, I can just check myself, didn't I? Yeah, I hope you're managing okay, though. No? The power post update pics and TC. I did see those. Really? Okay. Sorry. I don't know if you heard that, but I did snort like a laugh a little bit. It is genuinely cold. Right? I'm not gonna be that motherfucker who's like, ugh, you think that's cold. No, it is cold. But, looking up specifically Nashville weather, it's like a good benchmark. Right now, according to Google, it is -4 degrees Celsius, or it is 25 degrees Fahrenheit with a high of -1 and a high of -8 in Celsius again. But just seeing that and then be like, oh, yeah, it doesn't sound so good. I wonder what else is going on. Scrolling down and seeing winter storm warning from 10 hours ago. Like, it's the thing with cold, right? It's the thing with the cold that is always true. If you're prepared for it, or at least true nowadays in like a developed country where you can be prepared for it. So we got an extreme cold advisory, right? Here's the thing. To pivot wildly into a thing that is borderline insensitive, this is why Celsius is so much better, you see. Because anywhere where it can freeze, that is the benchmark you need to fucking be aware of, right? Especially a place where it freezes regularly. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It says, it's on Google right now, it says like, oh, cool. For Saturday and Sunday, it gets to a high, like a max temperature of -1 degree Celsius. It's below zero, so it's freezing cold, and that is a very literal definition, and it is very important. As you can see, places where it does not normally get that cold this consistently, because it's going to be like below zero comfortably for over a week. And that means that it's going to get icy. You know, good, did I mention anything on Discord? You don't have good snow removal services like snow plows, thanks Taskcat. You don't have good snow removal. That's genuinely really scary because if the roads get full of snow, what do? We just know that 32 equals freezing, right? That's another point for like the debate of metric versus Fahrenheit in temperature, like imperial versus metric temperature. It is mostly subjective, right? Like outside of, even with scientific context, like you can just know. That's also why the argument of it feels correct is always bullshit. Although again, I think I said before, but like Fahrenheit is by far the most reasonable imperial measurement. And massive tangent, does not do with the weather. Anyway, yeah, how is weather for you, Taskcat? Hopefully you're doing good. Yeah, like it's went out today to get the trash and all the tree sides to dump ice slurry down your shirt as you walked under their branches. That's rough. Oh my god, that is so unbelievably rough. Holy shit. Like, I have been doing my best. It hasn't been difficult, to be clear. To, like, be sympathetic to places where it doesn't get cold and be like, no, this is cold. There is no need for any kind of worry about that. Like, having slurry dump down your shirt because, like, a branch above you. Yeah, no. That is... living somewhere cold where, like, snows regularly, getting cold stuff down the back of your shirt, right down, like, your clothes. Not fun. Fine 1 second, and it was really wet and cold the next. That's why it sucks! Because you have no time to acclimate to it. Like, it is the exact inverse of, I think I've noticed, whenever it's like around 12 degrees Celsius here, how I feel about it is entirely dependent on whether it's dropping to 12 or if it's going up to 12. Basically, if it's going into fall or out of winter. Because if it's going down to 12, ooh, that's quite chilly, that's quite cold. I need to get like my thinner, like my fall gloves on maybe. My fingers have really bad circulation. Coming out of winter, that is t-shirt and shorts weather, baby. Oh my god, 12 degrees? Fuck yeah. I know our cold with the shame by y'all is cold up there. Right, and that's the thing I was talking about before. Like, if you're prepared for the cold, it's fine, right? Like, if your houses are up to spec and your tires are up to spec and you know how driving in snow is, it's not free. It is still it can be dangerous. Driving in snow will go up. You gotta be ready for it. It can still be cold, yada yada. But you're prepared for it, right? Living somewhere 12 in American. Let's see, 2 Fahrenheit. 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Right? On a super humid subtropical area, so we rarely see amounts of ice. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If you're not prepared for it, the cold is fucking cruel. It will fucking take its fucking pound of flesh if you're not ready for it, because there will be ice. I mentioned it multiple times because it is so important. If you don't live somewhere where there is snow, you almost certainly don't have good snow removal services on your roads. Holy shit, that is terrifying. All of a sudden. Right? I'm a good driver in the snow. My car is just not good at being a car. Yeah, that can definitely be part of it. If you don't have snow tires on, that's a question. Have you put winter tires on your car? I have a pineapple plant growing in a pot outside, and I have a green stick for some reason. Pineapple? I can't imagine pineapples need the cold. Pineapples definitely feel. Pineapple. Pineapple growing areas. I live north enough to spend money on snow tires. Lol. I have all seasons. At least you got something. Cool. Okay, yeah. I wanted to double check that so I didn't sound like a fucking idiot. But yeah, like. I think you don't live north enough to spend money on snow tires. Lol. I have all season. Yeah. Again, that's sort of what I'm getting at. If you're not prepared for the cold, 1 week of below zero temperatures and precipitation is a thing to be fucking prepared for. Or I guess in this case, aware of, because you can't really be prepared for it. Up here, where it'll be fucking below zero for literally months at a time, you don't got the fucking luxury of that. You either will be prepared for it, or you will not be around for very much longer. It also means that our grid connection in our roads need to be able to handle the cold. I could drive my way to town if I need to have some chains too. That'd be funny to rip off the hair of pineapple stick and dirt. Rip George. Damn, you had fucking 4 years of that thing? Crazy. But yeah. All to say, as opposed to my other thing, anyone watching who's also in Canada, no, it is not, like, seeing a winter storm warning at, like, a low of -8 is, in some ways, funny. However, in the places these things are happening, that is a very genuine concern, right? Because well, yeah, you can just be prepared for it. If you're not, and more importantly, if the area you live isn't, that can get fucked, right? Like, you can get really bad. See what happened in Florida, I think it was a couple years ago at this point. I just want to find the historical one. No, these are all recent. Massive Florida owl bird. Ah, fuck. I can't find out when the last, like, a year, maybe a couple years ago, the massive power outage hit Florida, because apparently it's happening again, which is really, really bad, because you need to find some way to produce heat, right? That's the thing with the cold. You gotta either conserve the heat your body makes, which you cannot do for a house, and even then it's not super consistent, or you find a way to generate heat. And if the grid goes down, most houses just don't have heat. Hedges are exploding up north. the water in the trees is freezing, expanding. Yeah, Cal mentioned that yesterday, which is just fucking absurd to think about because, I mean, one, it's just fucking insane. Second of all, as someone who lives in somewhere cold, trees that did that would not be trees for very much longer. See, again, the difference between the line that is freezing temperatures, right? Because it doesn't really matter. Like 10 below, 20 below, that makes it harder to stay warm. But if you're like a tree outside, you're not staying warm. You are the ambient temperature of the environment. So 2 degrees above zero, you're fine. You're dandy, at least in this case. 2 degrees below zero, whole fucking like 5-degree difference, I think. Like you're dead. You're cooked. Because the water inside the tree is gonna fucking freeze. It doesn't need to be fucking 20 below to freeze. It needs to be below zero. Your weird ass tree magic. While trees on the equator have direct energies. You know, the form structure when I lived in Cali, 1 inch of rain flooded half the town. Like, I'm pretty sure California is a desert, but oh, come on. At some point, my not exaggeration. If that's not exaggeration, at some point my fucking sympathies have to dry up a little bit. Not for any individuals, of course, but like for infrastructure as a whole. Which is also, again, part of why you gotta be sympathetic when it is cold, because if someone's house isn't up to spec to handle -0 temperatures, and they live somewhere where it's like where it hasn't been below zero basically ever, and it's only because the climate change is fucking up weather patterns and shit that is causing these. Yeah, of course they're not prepared for below zero temperatures. They never had to deal with it before. And individual people are not the ones maintaining their power grid, right? As shithole are getting more rain than ever thanks to climate change. Yep. It's and the thing I don't think got enough press coverage at the time, that global warming does not just mean global warming, although it does also mean that. It also means that shit's gonna get unpredictable. Weather patterns are going to get crazier, and it's gonna be worse. It was built in a drained swamp, so when it rains heavily, there are spots where the water builds up too much. The drain spots are where most public schools are. That's fucking heinous! Oh my god! Like, I suppose, like, that might not technically be the same as what we're talking about, because, like, oh, well, you know, what is too much rain? But that is still fucking awful. Be like, oh yeah, most public schools are in lowland areas that can experience flooding, because presumably that area is cheaper and land is cheaper because no one wants to fucking live there. God. A lot, I don't even know. Turns out bad infrastructure is bad. Who could have seen this coming? God. Now I'm sort of tangent on motherfuckers who don't spend enough on infrastructure and then get point at bad infrastructure they paid for and be like, see? It doesn't help. It's like, yeah, because you fucking bought the cheap one. One time school was out for these days up to a week because the halls were knee-deep in water. A lot of soccer fields and things are designed to collect water. That's... If that means what it sort of sounds like it means from what you phrased it, of like, these sort of fields are designed to collect water on purpose to sort of help alleviate flooding. Because if you have so many gallons of water, or probably more than that, but like if you have so much water that overflows as temporary reservoirs, that's actually cool. Yeah, because it was like, especially if 1 inch of water of rain over, you know, all of California is able to flood the city, okay, maybe these few city blocks won't flood because all the water is going to go to the soccer field instead. Like, yeah, the soccer field's going to get flooded, but you just don't, like, that is going to be the least important spot, or one of the least important spots to not be able to go to for a little bit, right? Okay. Why are you not? Alright, you're just over to the side. Huh. And when you go to a soccer field in a large city, you will notice rain pipes at eye level. When the field fills up, giant pipes. Gotcha. Doesn't seem like... Right there. What voiceover do I have? Isn't it's all of it? Am I just dumb? Voiceover. Well, I have up to paragraph 28 actually recorded, apparently. That is not the whole script. Oops. When the 5th grade school was out sometime because the whole school flooded. When you like the left fields was really water damage, and you could see the silt line of the water. Oh no. Yeah, weather is one of those things that is very difficult to solve, I guess is the correct word there. Like, you can't just go like, no, we're just gonna find a way to work around it. It's gonna fucking happen. Right? I guess that's not the thing. Like, you can solve for it, but not by beating it, right? You gotta work with it, or at least be prepared for it. Like, with the cold, specifically when I say cold up here in Canada, you can't make it not cold, but you can, let's say, have warm enough weather gear, or winter tires, and good enough road surfaces that the cold is not a problem. You can withstand it comfortably by being prepared, like a lot of preparedness. If, like it sounds like, let's say with California, it's kind of what you say, if you try and just be like, I know there's rain, but we'll manage. No, you won't. No, you won't. Like, there's gonna be rain. You gotta be able to deal with it. If you don't have some way of getting the water out, you're just gonna flood. And if you don't respect what you're dealing with, you're gonna flood even worse. It was at Palm Point. It was a private school built on decent land. Palm Point being the parts of town that regularly flood. Oh shit. You can only imagine what the fucking pond points were then. Have you seen Japan's water management system? No? Do you mean Japan? I think I actually have seen this a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, like massive underground reservoirs. Yeah, it's the world's largest underground flood water disposition facility, built to mitigate overflowing and save major waterways and rivers during rain and typhoon season. Greenberg Night Fingers can't take. No worries. Work on the project started in 1992 and was completed by early 2006. So fucking, a decade and a half. No big deal. Consists of 5 concrete containment silos with a height of 65 meters, 213 feet, and a diameter of 32 meters, 115 feet. Connected by 34 kilometers, 4 miles, of tunnels, 50 meters, 100 feet below the surface, as well as a large water tank with a height of 25.4 meters, 83 feet, and a length of 177 meters, 181 feet, with a width of 78 meters, 256 feet. With 59 massive pillars connected with 78 13,000 horsepower pumps that pump up to 200 metric tons of water into the Eda River per second. Once again, picks. And they use soccer fields and rural areas as buffer zones for water flow, right? Yeah, this is what I mean by, like, taking it. You can solve it if you take it seriously. Decade and a half just looking at the fucking, like, the one big rectangular chamber. Fucking, like, 25 and a half meters high, 177 meters wide, 70 or long, 78 meters across, or 83 feet, 581 feet, 256 feet, right? Islands, this is tsunamis and everything. Yeah, they were dealing with tsunamis and shit, right? Yeah, especially for the Americans in the audience, the football field, 360 feet long, right? From end zone to end zone. That fucking, just this one container. They have 5 other silos, which are more than half a football field tall. There are 5 of them. So, let's just do the silos and just stack them on top of each other for total volume. This thing is extremely toxic because this organ, so let's carefully remove this organ so we can eat this or meat on this fish. Yeah, absolutely one of those moments of, like, people doing dumb shit for dumb reasons. I think it's for, like, they believe it to be something. I don't know. That's Fugu specifically. It's also not on top, but yeah, no, it's dumb. As for their water management, the silos stacked on top of each other. I'm trying to fucking measure it in football fields. Okay, good. Basically 3 football fields stacked on top of each other. That's how tall their silos are, like, collectively. There's one big silo that's cut up into 5 smaller ones. And they are 500 feet across. Like a third of a football field. I don't know. I'm trying to describe sizes in feet. Not. It was an interesting concept. It's a very different thing. And also, a lot of things with voodoo have been misrepresented horribly over the years. I think, specifically, tonight, ADHD all of us tonight. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. Even though with me, I actually did take my meds late enough in the day so that I could fucking maybe still have them on. Is that true? Probably. But yeah, I think specifically the term... Yeah, you don't. I know you mentioned before, like, you just you adapt them. I do. Oh my god, it is very helpful. Insert the comic with the dog. I just might go find that. Okay, I'm not sure if this page is just like not specifically used in that way. I think if you find the idea of a voodoo doll interesting, I think you might be interested in like the term like sympathetic magic, or as Wikipedia says, imitative magic. It is that specific idea of you take a thing. You should see. Yeah. Humble sacrifice the scroll through ice right down your shirt. It will find its fucking components will find a use, I'm sure. I met actual voodoo, which is lovely people. That's the thing. As I was saying before, like voodoo's been misrepresented. It was an actual practice. It is one of the things that was presented by prominently white media over the years as, ooh, spooky, evil magic, when, no. Yeah. Specifically, if you find that interesting, sympathetic magic is the thing of using like things to get an effect. Like when Las Vegas was always better on TV. Oh, hard to disagree. I've also been to New Orleans. New Orleans is fucking awesome. I just went for Mardi Gras, and oh my god, it is so cool. And also, I did also do spooky ghost shit. I don't know about you. Like, nah. Going to New Orleans and hearing the story about how in New Orleans there are certain places, like certain parts of town where you can't get a taxi at night because of ghosts, not because, ooh, it's haunted and scary and people are too scared to go there, but because taxis kept picking up ghosts who would then disappear before they got to their place they were going and therefore not actually pay for the taxi fare. That is too fucking good. Yeah, New Orleans. Fucking amazing vacation spot, especially during Mardi Gras. If you can manage, because just walking through the city, after someone went down, and just stumbling upon a massive parade. That's the fucking word. I'm thinking float, mixed up. Yeah, stumbling upon a massive fucking parade because it's New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Also gumbo. Cab drivers. That's the thing, right? It's like that is just ghosts mimicking what they did in life. Most people did not live horrifying demon lives. So that matter during Mardi Gras. That's also part of it. Like, it is also very loud. And people will, the floats do throw, beads and shit at you. So, very much not a thing for everyone. I was looking for the script. It was awesome during the off-season too. Yeah, again, a lot of what I loved about going to New Orleans was not during was not the Mardi Gras side of things. Mardi Gras was awesome, don't get me wrong. But it was also, New Orleans has such a definitive feeling to it, a culture to it, that I don't, at risk of being an absolute know-nothing fucking, a tourist dipshit, it didn't feel like it was just like an act. Obviously, there was some part like this is a tourist town, like we're going to the tourist things to do tourist stuff. But it also felt like a certain level of authenticity. Like, no, this is also just what New Orleans is like, and this is how they show it to tourists. Like, when we went there, we went to one of the cemeteries because it was like a ghost walk. And I think we've been before the cemetery. And like the graveyard itself, I mean, that's like the idea. Or just one of the cool things is the graves there are not chosen, like not called for like, oh, this is yours forever now. You get them for, I think it was a year and a day before they crack it open, find what's left of your bones, just your bones, because in the hot Orleans sun, the meat will not last, and just get the bones out. But when you die and become a ghost, you just get to have someone before the Reaper comes to take you away. Like, imagine getting to screw with them for a few years. Maybe. Sometimes. There are many different flavors of ghost. I've never changed the locals exactly how you would expect. I think if you're visiting Bourbon Street specifically, that might not be super regular. I do remember seeing. I think I saw more open carry than I would like otherwise expect. I also went there when I was younger, so I just don't know. Hungry guns or alcohol. During tax minute. After I was tormented the orange one. About to meet his quotas, we received 5 minutes of neck vibrations. I assume you mean scritches. However, neck vibrations is a really good threat, I think. That's a solid one. Am I further behind on this than I thought I was? I think I fucking might be. Thousand words of that. You place the open containers, just no glass. Okay. And oh god, I'm like 2/5 of the way done with voiceover. No, that's gotta fucking. Smart detection. Beta allows you to see chat. Hey! Holds it based on moderation patterns. That's excellent. I sound like I'm in pain, it's because I am. What do I have theoretically done? Okay, just hadn't fucking changed that one. Like, Oh God. No. Okay, that jab is funny. Uh, okay. Oh, so at least have the video roughly like cut to stuff that is good, I suppose. But this is looking like it's going to be a lot longer than I was sort of expecting it to be. Yeah, I have like almost 2 hours of the good stuff, like footage. Hey, listen, America also has in jazz and other such things that were created by the minorities in the States, but does have them, okay? Because there is an incredibly sad irony of many of the states' like greatest cultural hallmarks being created by the like minorities and immigrants, other people from that came to the states. And the irony of the state's greatest achievement being its mixing pot status, given the current climate. It's still true. Fast plan requires a cat nap or maybe very, very, very deep energy drink can. It sounds like you require like a sleep, not a cat nap, a full blown being unconscious. Oh shit. Crazy seeing how fast they shut down Perman Street. Police came flying in and clear the way. One very white girl did not press the entrance quickly enough and got flying boot in the chest. Jesus, what the fuck? What? Is there any other context you can provide that makes that sound like not just a police brutality? God damn. Okay. Okay, when you say flying boot, you mean that in the sense of they were on horseback and their boot caught their, like, the person on the side. Okay. Okay. I will just choose to believe that is the most acceptable version possible. Oh, good doctor, scuff. Great camels. Wish you good rest and blessed rest. Alright. You too, Tax Cat. Hope to see you again next time. Take care of yourself. Have a good sleep and or very deep energy can. Probably be sleep, but. Oh, the she wasn't trampled by the rest of the horses. Okay. Weirdly, that is also like not even like the best case. I was thinking of like someone just got clipped. But no, like get out of the way of the fucking horses, please. Is okay. Given that it's like an active shooter thing, yeah, it's hilarious to watch. Yeah. Okay. I sort of have two options to me. One is take the time. She's past her limit, right? Yeah. Like, I have two options. Either I try and retool the scripts to be shorter, because right now it is sitting at, according to past me, 26, 27 minutes. However, if I scroll down. At 1,000 words, about 5 minutes. Nope, that is 4 minutes, 45 seconds. That is about perfect. Huh? What? Okay, is Twitch still working? I can't fucking hear that because it's fucking on a different goddamn thing. Are we back? Are we back? I can't actually hear. Passion came back. Thank you. Okay, what the fuck, YouTube? I know that was YouTube, actually, because fucking Twitch kept running. Twitch just fucking, like, took that to the chin like a fucking champ. Hello? Motherfucker. Anyway, yeah, the... Where did I enter there for a second? So was I! Okay, yeah, either I retool the scripts to be shorter, because right now in terms of video I have video I have recorded, I have, I think it was, yeesh. Yeah, I had about 2/5 of it recorded already. Who knows at what quality. And some of it is already like cut together, and even better, I have it set up on one massive like net, like one big long nest, like nested thing in the program, which means I should be able to affect the whole thing at once to like level it out nicely. More importantly, it means that if I leave it as is, like the script as is, recordings I have as is, and then just keep going from there, it should give me basically means I don't need to fucking redo it. So the question is, do I take the time to retool the script, possibly re-record lines, but if I say just leave the ones I have recorded, done, possibly even just cut the ones I already have, like a big ones that I've recorded but not cut down yet, like put edited. Do you think there's viability in only streaming and not doing videos? Yeah, absolutely. Like most streamers do that, right? Now, I'd probably suggest streaming on Twitch, maybe more so than YouTube, because, you know, obviously. Although, honestly, if you're doing just streaming stuff, that means you could use your channel on YouTube for VODs and or just clips. Actually, no, because VODs is... I don't have the patience for video editing. It's a lot. Shorter videos. Or, I was saying, because on YouTube, the streams are already saved, so the VODs are already there, just using your channel for clip compilations, or just clips, that would be what you'd use that for. And clips are honestly a very, very good way of getting content out, to the point where, like, even channels that do like longer content, I'll give you an example that I have been really liking recently. The channel Bringle. He's a Super Mario and like the RPG things. It's a little bit more variety stuff, mostly Nintendo Mario games. Has been doing a like super cut of a game he's been playing recently, The Origami King. And it's really fun to watch. It is like long form content, and it is essentially just not even necessarily clips, but just take the stream, cut out the like fat, let's say, the stuff that doesn't need to be there for the enjoyment of it. And now it's like, wait, but cool. Now you have. Is he left you on YouTube? Yes. It seems like the first supercut takes about 10 hours of stream and turns it into like a little over an hour-long video. And it's just the bits that are considered like good. And there you go. There is your video. Yes, it is a long thing for like a stream, but you can also have it be just clips, right? Just used for like clips and stuff. Frankly, I kind of screwed myself because I started as a like video content creator, and I was like, I don't really want to like just flood my channel with clips and stuff when I also want to have separate videos. And so I get my ass kicked because I haven't even had a chance to work on clips for like I think a year at this point. I'm working on videos. But yeah, to answer your question more specifically, yes, you can absolutely do just streaming. I would recommend doing clips anyway, like clips in general, because oh, absolutely, trust me, like clips are literally at their most basic. You take the stream, you say, this bit's really funny, and then you post that, right? Like just that one little chunk of it. Most clips will put like subtitles over it, but that is not necessary. That's not mandatory. Most will also be in shorts format. That is not mandatory. Both of those are also very easy though. And yeah, clips are so much easier than anything else, because what do you not need to do when doing clips, for example? Script, it's literally zero. Voiceover, literally zero. Recording footage, literally zero. Right? Like the worst case, at least most worst cases, for like a short or like a clip would be editing it, but even then that is optional. Again, you can just take this clip is good, cut it together. This is not. This is a short video, specifically. This is essentially just like a video. That's the thing. It's just in shorts format. It's even a little more than a minute. Give them a pass because it's 1:13. Shit over 2 minutes. Fuck that shit. Make it a video. Cowards. Yeah, doesn't it? Even this is so much more than what I was talking about. I was talking like clips, which again, at their most basic, if you don't do a bunch of editing, is just, hey, that bit was really funny. I'm just gonna post just that bit separate from the like 6-hour stream. And part of the reason why I encourage you to do that, I think even Twitch has like a clip thing. I even have one of them where it's like, cool, a chunk of stream, and they just say, cool, map out like the number, like the points on stream, the timeline. Which do you want to be just a clip? And then you just get a little chunk of stream as a video. Editing, 0. Anything else, 0. Just give it the chunk you want, and it's done. But besides being just very easy, a benefit of it is it lets other people see what the fuck you're about, right? Because it's really difficult to actually, as someone who has gone and looked into like other streamers, it can be really hard to fucking even tell what the fuck is going on. Like, why should I watch this streamer? Right? And this is me actively trying. Go like, okay, what are you about? How funny are you? How entertaining is this? And I couldn't fucking tell, because the only way I could fucking see their stuff is by watching their streams. Why the fuck would I sit down and commit myself to a multi-hour stream if I don't even know if I like the streamer yet? Up confidence, I'm terrified of getting on the internet like that. Oh yeah, it's fucking terrifying. Like, I've said this story before, but the reason I go by Dr. Scuff is because that helped me shake that nervousness of sucking by essentially just owning it up front. And I think that's sort of the best advice I can give you is, as long as, like, if you're worried about sucking on the internet, yeah, it's gonna happen. On my name. Yeah, I've been there. That's so kind of be like, oh man, that name's really cool. How do you come up with them? It's like, well, it's not actually, like, technically speaking, they're not like special about it. It's just now that when you see it work, it's like, wow, that's so cool. Actually, that can also be a bit of advice. I have seen some stupid as fuck names. They're just absolutely fine, and no one cares about it. It's like, yeah, it's totally fine. Like, go to Bringle, for example. Like, Bringle's a totally cool name. Like, it's the one where they even reference it, like, in the streams. With, specifically in this case, it was when he was failing at puzzles, and they called him Brupid, or Bringle Stupid. But, you know what Bringle is from? Bringles Can. Like, that's his @ on YouTube. I don't know if that's where it started. Like, it's also, at best, it's gibberish. At worst, it's Pringles Can, but with a B instead of a P. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care. Like, another one might be something like, AlphaRad. The super popular YouTube content creator, streamer. Dude's name is literally Alpha and then Rad, like it's in radical. But you don't think about it, because it's just his name. I think that's the big thing, is you don't notice when a name is bad necessarily. At least sometimes, or at least most of them. Most names you won't notice if they're bad, so you don't need to overthink it. One day, start streaming. Yep. Really, I think maybe the most confidence-inspiring thing I can say is almost no one is going to see it at first. Which does not sound necessarily like it's going to be confidence-inspiring, but if you're worried like, oh no, what if it sucks? Like, yeah, it's going to, and no one's going to see it. You're fine. More specifically, I guess you need to do with 0 viewers. Damn good question. A lot of them. A fucking lot of them is the answer. At least I can even give you like a rough estimate. Really, I think the answer might be like, cool, how many streams have I done with like a regular viewership of like low single digits? And just up to this day, brother. Yeah, I think I find a good example of it, but you, I think, did not see the first Skyrim series. I think you came in just after that one, right? And that was very disappointing because you were like, oh, wait, no, Skyrim. That would be 16. 24, 32, 40, 48, 55, we'll say. Maybe to the first one. So we'll say like between 30 and 50 streams, right? And even accounting for people who come to streams later and can watch them afterwards, which, to be clear, is how almost all of the streams with a high viewer count got to that point. People showing up later, like I've had like at best a handful that have gotten over 100 views while I was live. The first one I got with that was the second Slime Rancher stream, which is I think approaching 60. Basically, a long ass fucking time. I think over a year, actually. I did also sort of take a break partway through. I'm trying to have 15 views. Honestly, it can vary. A lot of the time, it's people just lurking in chat, which I respect that, or like lurking just watching the stream and not chatting. I respect the hell out of you. I'm also one of you. Honestly, part of it for my nerves, I think, is I also just imagine like some of those are going to be bots. I know some of them are because I get bots in chat sometimes, or like autoplay or whatever. But, like, again, to this day, 3 years after I started streaming, I have like maybe 5 people in chat that I would consider call regulars, right? But importantly, I've kept going. It has always been getting up, more, pretty much always going up more. This is also why, again, going back to the advice before, or the advice of, even if you're not doing videos, I recommend you do clips, because the YouTube algorithm really, really likes consistency. Right? So not only are clips easy to make, not only are they showing people, hey, why might you like to come to stream? Right? Or just showing them hey, here's what a stream is like, without needing them to start watching your stream and then continue watching it until a good bit. It also makes sure, it also makes sure that the YouTube algorithm knows about you and goes oh, this person posts regularly, right? Along with also, I guess, 3.5, giving you an alternative content stream, right? Simply one more thing for the algorithm to latch onto. But, yeah. I think best advice I could give is, honestly, what I almost might suggest is, on purpose, stream to no one, in a sense. And this is more like a theoretical, not necessarily advice I give, this is something you need to do, but go and stream without actually going live, just to see if, I don't know if that's the thing you can even do, because I find most of the time it ends up being talking with someone in chat is very different than talking about the game. But it can give you a sense of, okay, what's your mic quality like? What is everything else like? Now, of course, I also would almost recommend even more strongly, you do that by just fucking doing it. You look at my earliest streams, right? And it is, I'm going to struggle now talking about the game. And that's for part of the problem. That's actually, that is another point on why I recommend just going for it. Don't invest super heavily on like, oh, like what do I need to start streaming? You need to just hit the fucking go live button, right? Like basic internet safety, and then also hit the go live button. I think technically YouTube might require you to have like a certain standing. I don't think that's actually true anymore, but I don't know. I started by posting videos. But there is an important thing to go into this knowing. Streaming is a lot of just talking. Now, not all the time. I know there are plenty of streamers who don't talk nearly as much as me. Most of them, dare I say, all of them, have something else. For now, the example I think of is Bewildebeest, who is a world record Twilight Princess speedrunner, like Legend of the Twilight Princess, and also makes long-form content about it, including like full, like detailed run breakdowns, and has a very calm, soothing voice. It's very nice. They still talk and chat with chat pretty regularly, but also people know about them because they have very popular videos, right? And presumably people watched them before because they were speed running Legend of the Breath of the Wild at a world record level. And that's sort of part of what do you use to stream on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time? I don't know what's really called. It is plugin provided by V author Sora Yuki. Sora Yuki had released a multiple output add-on for OBS. That's what I use. Oh shit, I've had my fucking little placeholder guy since the beginning. And for a bit, cool. My old mic was bad. But yeah, I think now for a bit, yeah. And that's the thing. There's a lot you gotta get. Oh, no, that was the point I was getting at. Streaming is a lot of talking, and if you don't want to talk a lot, you kind of have to have some other thing. For example, being a world record, best in the world speedrunner of a game that's very popular. If you're going in with the idea of like, no, I'm going to be a streamer. He's not a placeholder, he's our mascot. Honestly, at this point, yes, but shush. If you're going to be just like, I just want to be a streamer, then you're going to need to have like a cult of personality, essentially. Like, people are going to watch you stream more than anyone else. Why? Simply because they find you funny or charming or whatever. That means you got to sort of fucking talk, make noise. Now, there's actually probably better people to give advice, because I have sort of very, very quickly stagnated. I think part of that is I don't have a face, like an actual model. But going to get a model, or just streaming with your face, it's too fucking much of a jump for me, clearly. But what I have seen, I also heard from other people in chat, you gotta talk. I am circling the point. The point is, maybe you will not actually like streaming. Right? It is not some magical fucking, like, ambrosia fucking hobby where it's gonna be the bestest thing for everyone who does it. You might do it and be like, this is exhausting, this is annoying, this sucks. And maybe that's because you don't have anyone in chat at first. Maybe it's because you get people in chat and you're like, this actually sucks, I hate this now. Whatever the reason, like, it is not guaranteed to work for you. So just fucking doing it is a good way of testing that. Especially because it's gonna be the roughest, quietest part of that process. Right? If you, like me, let's use me for example, even when I had no people in chat, it was isolated, it was quiet, it was dead, and I was talking to myself about the game, I still had more fun in many of the games I played. Right? And that's a very good sign, we'll say. I think specifically the game that made me figure that one out was actually Sekiro, which is a very fair game for that to happen in. Did I even at any point, like, did I do Sekiro with thumbnails, or was Sekiro pre-thumbnails? No, at some point I go back to it. Yeah, there we go. It was pre, like, universal thumbnails when I was still making fucking memes for every single one. Don't do that, it takes so long. But yeah, anyway, like, playing Sekiro while talking to myself and streaming it, like, live, was more fun. Also see, specifically Blueprints is a more recent, very, very good example. I played one day of Blueprints by myself. It wasn't as fun. Right? It was still very good. Don't get me wrong. It was still a great game, still very fun. I had more fun streaming it, which is why I'm still streaming. Right? Like, I am not doing this. Like, I'm not forcing myself to stream because, oh, you know, maybe one day I'll become one of the professional internet talking heads, and that's what I'm really here for. Like, no, it's fun. So I'm gonna keep doing it. If you, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, maybe you don't even like streaming. Like, oh, this thing you're worried about, the Tom's talking about the game. If you don't, oh my god, so much better to find out early, right? You can invest basically infinite time and money and energy into getting ready to stream, only to find out that you don't even like doing it, right? Play and see. Last night I cringed so hard. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry, dude. Sorry to hear that. Where do you want top chat? You died. Yeah, I recommend. I do proper internet safety stuff. Like, the image of your front lawn in Discord is not what I would do, but I also cannot say that it is unsafe. You seem to have a good enough head on your shoulders to take care of yourself. I'm also paranoid, whatever. You just gotta do it, right? Now, potentially you might want a little bit better advice than just, fuck it. There are some things I will give advice for. What should you, or what would be nice to have before starting streaming? One is, honestly, I think, some kind of border, I think. Something, because A, will give you somewhere for chat to be, especially if you're trying to dual stream. I know Twitch does not actually like dual streaming to different things, but they're not fucking paying me shit. I'm not officially licensed with them at all, so they can fucking kick rocks. But I'm gonna go to right. Well, raise the point of saying fuck it. Not necessarily just saying fuck it, but it's so much easier to get better at something than to just do it right the first time. It's the thing I meant to say before, or meant to point out before, but I never actually did. I think you will find like 9 out of 10 content creators that are big either started out kind of dog shit, or at the very least at a much more achievable level of quality, we'll say. Or, if they seem to have just spawned from the ether good, they have some background elsewhere. Either this is not their first YouTube channel, or they deleted their old stuff, or they got work somewhere else, like as an editor for a different YouTube channel. Now, of course, this is saying like, oh, they deleted their old stuff. That is, of course, estimates. However, I also know that it seems broadly true. Or I guess there's not a bit of encouragement. How many content creators do you see and you watch where you give a shit if their like stuff from a year and a half ago is bad? Like, truly, like, honestly. with video borders. It gives you a place for chat to be. This is where I think speedrunners will use born on the outside. This is most, from what I'm watching, this is a Breath of the Wild Twilight Princess is not a widescreen thing. Whoops. Like seeing growth? Hell yeah! That's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do exactly. To sort of show that growth and be able to point and go, look. I guess this exact thing, I suppose. Being able to point and go, look. Look at my old stuff. Like, you can suck, actually. Yeah. Borders, to put chat, and also to make streams, I think, look visually like your own. And to give yourself space to put anything else you might need, because otherwise it is just the game. Maybe that's it. Like, the important thing is to... Or I guess I'm trying to phrase this. I'm going to just say words. It might not come out totally making sense or the most accurate, but it is the vague line of thought. Trying to stand out, to make your thing clearly not just something else. Really answer the question, why don't they watch someone else's stream? Right? And don't judge a book by its cover, but at the end of the day, that is why the cover exists. Having borders will make your streams look like your streams, which will not only make them recognizable, so someone who's looking for you will have an easier time finding you, or someone who just sees them and goes, oh, I recognize that I'll watch, instead of just glancing past something. Also see why it is so important to have a recognizable style of thumbnail, which I do not have. Whoops. But also gives you that. So, anyway, moving on. Stream borders, important. I guess also the ability to stream to, like I said, with different services. Also a helpful thing to do streams for. Kind of hard to know that you can stream successfully until you do it. But in terms of just advice for what you also need, mic quality. I am still not fully happy with mine. I do not know how much of that is just my own voice, and hearing your own voice not being the best experience in the world. But also, fuck dealing with mics. It's still very important, though. Which is unfortunate. If you're looking for a tutorial on that one, I cannot give it to you. I do not know. Frankly, if you find a really good one, I would like to fucking steal it from you. Basically boils down to, it's what people are going to be hearing. If you hear crackly dog shit, like Mike, where you just hear keys all the time, it might turn people off. Third would be, I think, some kind of face or mascot. I've seen a lot of channels do very well, actually, just by having a more prominent and professional-looking avatar. You can find them cheap. Also just use your own face. Or you can use a pre-made one. I think you can find, like, free ones decently easily. Not easily, but, like, they exist. But that's a whole other fucking can of worms. And I think networking might actually be... Actually, I know networking is more important. It's like one of the most important things. I've tried doing it. I find it exhausting. I don't talk good with people. But it is, like, very important. Guy who dropped $20 on a headset, and it is ass, so he refuses to use anything else the whole world knows. Damn! Dedication to the craft, I suppose, of calling people out. I mean, that's essentially just me whenever someone asks what software I use. Like, I use Premiere Pro, you shouldn't. But, yeah, that's good. Very large streamer, lol. He's funny. Oh, yeah. This sort of does sort of branch into one of the other problems, or one of the other questions, which is, yeah, at some point, the best thing you can do to, like, grow your channel is just have a decent enough base to begin with. What the fuck does a decent enough base mean? I don't know. One thing I've tried looking into, like, other smaller streamers, but I don't talk good and have anxiety with that sort of thing. So, also, I fucking am very bad human connections going. Yeah, those are the four. Let's go back around. Aside from just fucking do it, which is the most important one. He is the gay furry who cooks. His words. Damn. Based as hell. Yeah, the four things, aside from just do it. We're looking for the pyramid of needs thing. Why is it frozen again? Is that a thing wrong with, like, the film I took of it? I don't think so. I think it is actually just frozen. Fix yourself. No, it is actually frozen. There we go, fixed. But yeah. Hierarchy of needs triangle. 1. Fucking do it. Will it suck? Probably. Will anyone see it? Almost certainly not. I mean, hell, I spent how many months trying to make sure the fucking recent video I posted was like, oh, as good as I can get it. 27 views. As of a little over 24 hours. Right, person, like near 30 hours. Will it go up? Probably. But is it likely to hit more than 1,000 views? Almost certainly not. That was only this kind of video. The mascot. Wait, that was only the Skyrim video. The mascot was still talking. Oh yeah. I know. Skyrim was frozen. That's why I wasn't like panicking. But yeah. Like, other people aren't going to see it anyways, so you're fine. Especially with streams, because one of the problems with streaming again is people sort of have to know that you're going to go live. Ooh, that's the thing. The big five, we'll say. 5 things. 1 is, in no particular order, big 5 are recognizable face. You can put on like a mascot or a visage or something. 2 is stream borders. They give your streams a more unique look and let you put bullshit on it, namely chat, and also possibly your face. 3 is decent enough mic quality. It is a pain in the ass. It will take some fighting. This is honestly probably one of the things where I'm like, this is going to be the thing you fight with somewhat, because streaming mic quality and recording mic quality, not necessarily the same thing. It is easier to fix it and get better at it than to get it right the first time. That's still the main overarching thing. 4 was networking, which I suppose isn't you're already doing, right? At the very least, I know about you. And honestly, from what, at least what I would have loved networking is being told like, oh yeah, no, this is a little bit rough. This is a little bit like this could be improved. This is how I think you should improve this. You should go look at this. God, I wish I could fucking get that shit. Or get advice like that so badly. And 5 was, God, what the fuck was 5? Right. Scheduling. Or just like any kind of social media presence, which I suppose we can lump that in with networking and just like presence online. That was giving me room for thumbnails too. Alright, reconfigured big 5. 1, face. 2, stream borders. So you have a place to put shit. 3, kind of see him popping right now. I don't know, maybe. I don't know shit about Kick. You have to ask someone else about that one, I'll be honest. 3, okay. Face, borders. 3 was social media presence and networking. This also includes things like long-form video. Basically, if people don't know you're streaming, the only people who are gonna find your stuff are people who happen to stumble upon a 0 views, 0 subscriber stream while you are live, right? Not it has to be when you're live. Streams don't really get shared after that fact. Like maybe, I don't know. More often than it has to be when they're live. And also, almost when they only get views when they're live. So having some other way of getting people to know that you exist, being on social media, like how I do with you, yeah, exactly. And you're one of my 5 precious regulars, and 3 precious streamers. Streamers? Fucking supporters. There we go. Getting other media presence, even just like going on to, like, there are places on social media for, you know, I'm on the Twitter and Discord for like small like VTubers and PNG tubers. Especially where I found the Minecraft collab I was on. Actually found some decent people that I failed to keep in contact with because again, I am bad at that sort of thing. Whoops. Regardless, what was I doing? Sing. So, face, borders, network, and get presence known elsewhere because it is easier on social media. There are places for that specifically. 4, decent mic. 5, thumbnails. Do not do individual thumbnails for each stream. I did that. Don't. Right? Especially if you don't have like a model or a face, you can just, or your own face, like just use instead. Where you can just have like different expressions and it's basically the same thumbnail but doesn't take long to make. If you are making unique thumbnails for each stream other than like changing a number, like if you look at my older streams you can see what I'm talking about, that will take fucking forever. My thumbnails? Modern thumbnails or old school thumbnails where each one was a meme? Because my current like Blueprints, Planet Crafter, Slime Rancher, those kind of thumbnails are fine, right? I'm putting number on the bottom left because on YouTube the actual like timestamp will actually absolutely cover up the numbers. Yes, I'm talking about my Thaumcraft thumbnails. New ones? Perfect. They're the good ones. Namely because the time it took to make them, while it was pretty substantial, it was one time. Spending an hour to make a thumbnail one time for a whole series, totally fine, totally reasonable, totally okay. Spending even half an hour to make a thumbnail for a stream every fucking day you go live, unsustainable. Absolutely cannot be done. I know, I stopped doing it for a damn good reason. Even if they are funnier new memes every time. Yeah, those are the big 5. Borders on streams make it look like your stuff. A face you can represent yourself by and give like have more presence. People like a face. 3, get your name out there somewhere else on social media and other content because finding a stream is very difficult. And also just networking in general is very good. Decent mic quality, obviously. And thumbnails so that shit looks like... It draws the eye and makes it look like you might actually want to click it rather than just a video of a stream. That can be mitigated if you have good borders, but... I don't know. And yeah. Again, though, this is after just fucking do it. Right? Because you can have all 5 of those and have them at like the best level. Right? Like you have like, oh yeah, no, like you wait until I hit like a fucking million subscribers and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Like I've seen some of your stuff you made like in like private streams. It looks really good. You can have amazing thumbnails with like professional custom art. You can have borders done the same way, like $1,000 model, a mic that's like, oh, beautiful, perfect, amazing. If you don't fucking hit go live, you're not streaming, right? Not like, oh, you know, I'm scared of being like not a mediocre streamer, not a bad streamer, not a streamer, period, full stop. And God forbid you do press live at that point and realize you don't even fucking like streaming. You prefer not being a streamer, right? So yeah, that is the real takeaway. Your daughter for your wisdom. No worries. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to have wisdom to share, I suppose. Give me an opportunity to share my specific kind of wisdom, considering that I have it. I have a fucking thing. What the fuck was it? A thought. Like first, go live. Third, go live at all. Third, the big 5. What the fuck was I thinking step 2 was? I think it might have just been like the second takeaway should be just like you're gonna get better as you go. So you don't need to worry too much. Like if you're only thought like, oh, I gotta be good, it's like you don't. You can suck. It's fine. How you can suck for an indefinite amount of time, really. Right? Like, truly, what is the worst thing that happens? Oh no, I have a horrifying backload of dipshit, dogshit content that actively makes people not want to watch my stuff longer. Oh no, now I need to spend like a short bit of an afternoon privating all of that shitty dog shit content no one likes. Right? That's the worst case scenario. Assuming the worst case is content bad, not content morally reprehensible, of course. Because let's be clear, like, no one's gonna bother cataloging, hey, this person's mic sounds bad. It might if it's like, hey, this person is actually the CEO of racism. I doubt that. No. Yeah. Happy to share that wisdom. And I wish you the absolute best. I think actually maybe that to be another thing. I guess the last bit of wisdom. Chat is going to fluctuate aggressively. As someone who has a very, very small number of regulars, and even then most of those regulars are not super consistent, you got to be okay with that, right? And I am, right? It's fine. I will just watch stuff. I think I said last time, like, you said, like, oh, you don't really have much to say. It's like, fine, just hang out. But chat is not going to be super duper consistent. It can't be, right? Especially if you have not very many viewers. Even if you have regulars, like, even when I had more regulars, like more people that were like consistently, like every stream would watch for most of the stream, cool. If 3 people are busy at the same time or the same night, chat just fucking results to 0 again. That's fine. Again, circle back to the thing of, I haven't even said it out loud specifically. You need to like streaming for the sake of streaming. You found my channel, but you are my first subscriber. Am I stupid? I might be stupid. It's not even that I don't remember, it's that I'm looking at my fucking... Hang on, did I do it with... I know that one, I remembered that. You? What? About it, and it went up. Filter for channels. The reason why I'm confused is because it doesn't show up in my subscription. In my subscription box. So I don't know if either something happened. I also can't find the channel when I look for it. Let's look. No, right, but even then it should still exist. I wonder if YouTube fucking ate the account because it didn't like have the right like set. Oh, actually, you might not have updated it with the channel like tag. It's still there. Okay. That's good. No. Now a fucking investigation. I may be stupid. Yeah, I don't. I don't know. Give me 1 second to double check something. I am a very fuck it. I'm not even. I am overly cautious. Some would say accurately paranoid, but we're not going to acknowledge that right now. You know what? That's good enough for me. There you go. Now we're subscribed. I don't know if fucking idea who the first one is. I will say this. I do like the fucking banner image you have. That's actually really, really nice. How'd you get that? He made it. That's actually cool as fuck. That's really cool. See again, I think it was like number 3? Networks? Yeah, like knowing people is so important. I'm just in Brupid. Just steal that line from Ringle. It's funny. Oh, no. That's fucking awesome. I'm just getting more distracted. But what else is new? Why is YouTube giving me a mix for left ear Michael Jackson, Beat It, instrumental right ear, fucking lag train? God, I can fucking see the bit on that fucking meme. Also, there's 2 other tracks, one in each ear too. But just like, no, this is the. It's white noise, but not really, because you can make things out, but there's so much of it that you can't. Right, I was thinking on if I want to reschedule or or rescript the video, try and cut it down. I don't. Okay. So I need to have this thing posted on like Saturday of this week at the latest. Let's get another fucking like schedule going. We've got Monday the 26th to Saturday the 31st. Tuesday. Google Sheets, just drag it down. Technically I could do Sunday, but I'd really, really rather not. Let's do Sunday. Well, technically it's not even Sunday yet. Or Sunday anymore. Actually, no, it is Sunday. Fuck, I forgot the stream is... I forgot I was streaming on Saturday. So we have a full day on... I have a full day on Sunday. There we fucking go. Got there in the end. Okay. Now. I absolutely measure days based on the night thereof. So days start at sunrise-ish, kind of, maybe. Ignore me! Saturday. No. What even is my, like, actual schedule? I just have two fucking lines on that. Okay. Right, because it's post day. So, if I wanted to not reschedule it, I need... What do I need to do? What to do is... Yeah, okay. Okay, whoops, that is... Hmm. 3,000-ish words for the end. Not? What? Oh, yeah. $2,000 words already done, like recorded. Okay. So, you need to do about 60% or 60%. There we go. Okay, once I do that, recordings, edit, video, and edit, vid, footage. I already have that. Roughed in. View. Okay, do I have the intro actually done? Maybe. That is not what I needed. No. I do not. Okay. What just happened? Oh yeah, that. Yeah, it needs work at best. The concern I'm having, right? The thing I'm like, I need to look into like doing or cutting down the script, is basically every minute of video I do takes more work in everything. Even if it seems simple, every like say 3 minutes of video, okay, cool. But 3 to 5 minutes of video, I now need to go and put in a new background track, and then make the background volume fit, and also make sure like it lines up correctly. And that is more work, more time. Also, those 3 minutes take more time to record, and more time to edit that recording, and more time to fit visuals to that recording. By the time you're at the end of it, it's like, okay, cool, so every minute takes, at best, like 30 to 40 minutes, right? So if I can cut down the script by 10 minutes from, how much was it? Like 26, 27 to 16, 17, shit, I'm now cutting down a lot of work. Is that likely to be made up by the fact that I have a script and I can just follow it? Right? Final edit video, which is finishing the footage and the ending and the 3D model. Oh god. Intro. Model. Sheets. Okay. And edit footage, and then edit all else. Okay. Yeah, it is very much looking like the answer is going to be, nah, cut down the fucking video if you can, or at least give it a read over to see if I can easily. Else, and then BGM, thumbnail, and post. It's also not free, but I'll slot that in on Saturday, right? Yeah, that's good enough. So I do that in morning, afternoon, get that done by the video's posting. Oh, fucking final watch. The also thing I like to do, make sure everything is not shit. Yes, that means I spent like 40 minutes watching over the last video before posting it. And yeah, I did change a few things, like change the audio, which means it's 40 minutes plus pausing to go into the Premiere again and tweak a fucking like volume, make sure that everything's lined up still, and then going back. So that goes on like Friday, along with something else. Let's say, let's be nice to myself and say we'll also do the BGM on Friday. So Friday, Saturday is quite easy. But to your main, fair enough. If we just say broadly, video, in theory, it's not even like difficult, right? Note that the in theory part is fucking, once again, assuming that I fucking wake up tomorrow with a work ethic I have never had before in my life and that nothing goes wrong. Although honestly, given that I'm just coming off of a long video, I think my estimates for how long these things will take is more accurate than normal. Because it'd be... Even for the days, like I'm saying, like, okay, Sunday I'm busy. You can also just say swap everything over to, like, get it done on Friday even, which would be, you know, better. Finish recording the voiceover. Edit the voiceover, which I already have half done. God damn it. Why am I even bother checking this? It doesn't matter. 70%. We'll just set it at. Add the last 70%. And then I have the full thing scripted out. Finish editing the footage. Why are you frozen again? There you go. Which, helpfully, I already have the footage cut to the good bits. Right? So it's not going to be like, okay, where's, like, the actual interesting stuff? I have just footage I can use. Right? So I can in theory just grab any bit of it and be like, yay, it's good and works. Then, the rest of the editing. So, specifically, I'm going to need to do editing for any 3D modeling stuff, any stuff that is not, like, anything that is not the footage I already have of me making the thing. That's on 2 separate days, so give myself enough time for it. There's not much other stuff, and the stuff that would require a lot more finishing stuff is well within the video, so I can be like, well, if they're excited for this, or if viewers are excited for this, it doesn't need to be the best, because they're already locked in already. And if switching over to a new thing is going to lose people, probably going to lose people anyway. There's also an important lesson to learn for anything you're doing. That's more long-form content. And on Friday, I just need to do the background music, give it a final watch-through. That is not an overly strenuous day. And on Saturday, I make a thumbnail for it all, I post it, and we're all good. Assuming that A, again, nothing goes wrong. B, I spend, like, I lock in for a full week and do not fucking get locked out for even a second. A second's not true. Getting locked out would necessitate basically a full day. The alternative, though, is that I fucking retool the script to be short. And honestly, given how this looks, I'm missing anything. Okay, so finish recording the script. The script is done, correct? Yes, and I've changed it so many times already, I'm gonna have to just accept that it is good enough. And anything that's not good enough, well, I can change it when I record it. So, with this, I get the video posted when I want, and I have Sunday to do whatever I want still. Part of that should definitely be recording and or editing some of the stuff. But the other benefit, I can take the time to look through what I haven't recorded yet and go, okay, is there anything here that I can just cut or make shorter in some way? Essentially, I get, the question was, do I spend the time to cut down the script to make it everything else faster, or do I just say, no, it's good enough, I have the time, just run with it? I can essentially do both, right? I can take the time to go through and see if I can cut anything. It also does help that that's also just faster, which I suppose I should have probably said up front. Yeah, that would be by far the fastest way of doing it, right? Because, again, like, I'm giving myself a full day to record the voiceover and edit the voiceover and edit the footage and edit everything else, and then like do like background music and like watch through the video to make sure it's actually done. Taking one day to make all of these other processes or jobs faster, obviously very good. Right? If I can make it so that, oh no, I can record, edit, and line up the voiceover with, record the voiceover, edit the voiceover, and line it up with visuals over 2 days instead of 3. Hey presto, I got the full day back I spent on cutting it down, and now editing everything else, background music, and the final watch through are all going to be faster. Right? In this case, I have, I think, genuinely enough time, especially because, again, I said I could post on Sunday if I had to. I have enough time to do everything, and I still have a day on Sunday, which I originally mapped out because I'm probably going to be kind of busy tomorrow. Get time to read through the script, handing down if I need to. If not, I can spend time recording or editing. And then I get... What I really need to do is fucking lock in on... Really what I could do also, because I have the voiceover in a like larger nest, I can basically do macro edits to every chunk of the voiceover along with everything else. Right? Namely, this is going to be helpful with, let's say, like a single band compressor. Is what I normally use. What I used last one, and it was very helpful. Which basically just says, okay, the really loud parts get a little bit quieter. Not only is this helpful for the stuff that's obviously very loud, but also means I can have it set louder so the quiet bits aren't so quiet. Basically, if I have a 2 volume and a 10 volume, and I want both of them to be a 6, or near a 6, I can say, okay, make everything 3 ticks louder. So I have a 5 and a 13, and then say, okay, noise cap, limit it to 6, with a pretty aggressive, like, crunch down. So everything, let's say, 7 and 8, 7, 8, 9 volume becomes 6, 10, 11, 12, everything above that becomes 7. It worked really good on last video, because everything is in one line now. I can do that! Hooray! I had a really fun good mocha tonight. Which was a complete non sequitur to anything. That's one thing I mentioned yet. It really is just like hot chocolate, though, with a shot of espresso in it, really. 'Cause I put a lot of chocolate, also a lot of sugar. But, I mean, it's still good cold. And normally it kind of sucks cold. That sounds good. It is good. It is like, it's really not... Here's like, it's even like, it's slightly more sugar than I normally put in like a cafe mocha. Because, fun fact, chocolate bitter actually. Favorite coffee piping hot. Oh yeah, like, specifically with like coffee flavor, like with black coffee kind of stuff, hot's the way to go. Right? But, with cold, especially like mid, like room temperature coffee, nah. That stuff awful. But no, cold coffee, but not cold brew specifically, I fucking love. Like, I love, like, frappuccinos. Like the smoothie, but it's coffee. What I normally have. I think partially because it's in, like, a thermos, it actually stays cold. And, like, my preferred temperature is either a very specific kind of, like, hot or cold. Because it's full of ice, it stays at cold pretty consistently. Or for, like, longer. But in this case, it doesn't matter because it's just chocolate. It's just chocolate milk now instead of hot chocolate. And like room temperature, kind of cold chocolate milk, totally fine. No bean frap with 3 added shots. I actually ordered. You know one thing that pisses me off? Not anything you said. Like I've been like to Tim Hortons a couple of times recently. Why does their fucking coffee suck? I think the answer is they got bought out by a States company and like sold off the recipe. Or, like at least sold the coffee. Actually, like, before I end the stream, so I'm going to end stream in not too long. Company. Restaurant Brands International. That shit has to be. This is dystopian as fuck, isn't it? American Canadian multilingual fast food company. You guys are getting a chain called Seven Brew. Damn. I love mega corporations. I don't. Really? God, this is why you don't gotta fucking love mega corporations. Yeah, I was fucking right. Yeah, they claim fucking American Canadian status, but both like the executive chairman and the CEO, on Wikipedia, but you know, no particular reason to doubt them in this case, are American. And if you look at the owner of the parent company is Restaurant Brands International. I think I already said that, but yeah, the owning company of 30% shares is 3G Capital, actually. Which no, 3G Capital bought Tim Hortons and then created Restaurant Brands International. The Canadian government approved the purchase of Tim Hortons? Fucking why? Ah, excellent. Yeah, the fucking as soon as it was bought up by 3G Capital, it was like, cool, we need to have a bunch of layoffs for apparently in like efficiency's sake. You know, fucking how corporate goes. Like, oh, I guess we need to fire a bunch of people for efficiency's sake, which is never actually efficiency. It's always just money. Anyways, yeah, Tim Hortons coffee sucks now. Apparently, it just I have not had a single thing that was good from them. Before I even say where I normally get my coffee, I'm gonna fucking double check. Oh, it's like not nearly as big. I thought it was. Huh. Okay, no, maybe not. Okay, no, 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 no. Okay, no, 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 no. It's not that the fucking thing is smaller than I thought it was. It was that... yeah, no, no. Just... that was not where I wanted to go. I did not realize I was so far zoomed out. Yeah. The coffee place I normally go to is... I didn't actually fucking check the thing I wanted to. God damn it. Ah! Okay. Before I even do it, like, the fact that fucking Foodtastic is a Canadian company does not make it a better, more ethical mega corporation. Fuck, maybe it is. Unlikely. Maybe better in this case is fucking comparing death by instantaneous skull explosion to death by 10 trillion ants up your nose. But it is Canadian. I didn't want to fucking talk shit about that. So, yeah, the coffee place I normally go to is Second Cup instead of Tim Hortons, and their coffee is much better. I normally get the same thing. Whenever I go to Tim Hortons, I don't try and get the same thing, and it's just bad. 10 trillion ants up the nose. Well, so I had to come up with something that was horrible. That seemed like a decent one. Yeah, Second Cup is actually fucking Canadian. Owned by, as mentioned, Foodtastic. Terrible, excellent. Notably, though, death by instantaneous skull explosion, still death! Yeah, is actually a Canadian company, and the coffee is good. As opposed to Tim Hortons, where I go there and I was like, cool, give me the same thing. And they're like, yes. Hot dog shit? What the fuck? I actually see something. Okay, it's one. I'll double check like the owners were actually like Canadian. It was like, oh yeah, it's a Canadian company owned by a bunch of Americans. No, it's actually Canadian. Again, not necessarily a fucking shining star of approval, but I can at least be the tiniest crumlet of patriotic about it. The fact that no, Canadian coffee is actually good, and Tim Hortons coffee turned dog shit when they were bought out. Was it what I heard? Regardless, the thing I was checking first, that I was concerned briefly, was I looked up Second Cup, and it was all just like around, like me, like a local coffee chain. I was like, wait, hang on. I don't want to fucking like, accidentally out where I fucking live. Because like this local coffee place. Answer is no. It only showed up around where I was because they're not going to be like, okay, looked up Second Cup Coffee. Ah, I see now. Here's every single one of their fucking restaurants. Fucking everywhere. Wait, firebombing incident? What the fuck? Man. Oh! Toy chains these days are more local. Yeah. Although actually, Second Cup is a specialty coffee, especially coffee. Why am I trying to say special? That's what the problem was. Specialty coffee. For some reason, my brain was like, ah, yeah, special coffee. That's not what that one is. Yeah, apparently, according to Wiki, at the end of 2011, Second Cup offered 10 whole leaf tea blends and herbal tisanes, whatever the fuck those are, that were fair trade certified. It'd be really nice to have my go-to coffee place just be like regular corporate kind of shitty. Like, that'd be nice. God, how far the bar has fallen where it's like, yeah, I'd really like if my fucking local fast food coffee coffee place was like just kind of like regular kind of bad. Like doesn't pay, like it pays its workers like at or just above minimum wage rather than actively engages in fucking slavery. That'd be neat. God. You best be, yes. What the fuck even is that pirate line? I think it was just Miss. I don't think they gave her a name, whatever. Fucking, you best be believing in dystopians, Miss. You're in one. I almost did not get that accent even remotely right. It don't matter. Pirates of the Caribbean one. Yeah. I don't even know where we're going with that. Odds are most of the local chains are owned by micro-corporations that just use different names. Also true. Technically, though, that reminds me of when I was getting my degree in game literature. We were talking about, we were told about, like, where are jobs in games? And basically it boiled down to, like, yeah, no, there are way more small studios than, like, big ones like Sony and Microsoft. Most of the jobs are still in the big companies because they just have so many more jobs and they're hiring so much more, right? It's like, oh, cool. Like if you compare like how many studios are there like Team Cherry, where it's like there's 3 people, or even like the one that won Game of the Year from like the Game of the Year awards, Oculus Obscura, I think, Expedition 33. Like their team was like a dozen people, I think. How often are they hiring? Even if they aren't, like they are, it's like, okay, cool, they're hiring a person. Microsoft has like 1,200 employees, if not more. So yeah, big companies have most of the jobs, and in this case, like yeah, most coffee shops are gonna be big chains. 1,200 is massively lowballed. Yeah, I didn't want to sound stupid by fucking saying some bullshit high number. That might do Sony Games employee count. Damn! According to fucking... Yeah, I think it's not gonna fucking count. Nah! Yeah, Sony Interactive Media. 12,000. Exxon is the fucking 9th, just below Nintendo? The fucking MapleStory guys? That's cool. Probably bad, but it's cool. Epic Games, why are you up here? What are you fucking doing? We've guessed higher. According to Wikipedia, the Microsoft Gaming is the highest. That's 20,000. And apparently Ubisoft is French. Huh. Also, the sixth highest, the seventh and sixth, or sixth and seventh, are Keyword Studios and Embracer Group, and the Embracer Group from Ireland and Sweden, both of which are above Nintendo. What games do you have? You have many companies under you. What fucking games have you made? Doesn't matter. Totally irrelevant. If you have a coffee shop nearby, it's more likely to be a big chain because, I mean, the big chain has multiple storefronts, right? Like hell, I think most second cup places have a second cup place within like a 20-minute drive of it. Right? Meanwhile, if you have like a local small-scale brewery, even if there's a lot more of those, if we're counting by like, oh no, there's like a second cup, or like a Tim Hortons we're going to count for, there's way more like small-scale ones, like Jim and Joe's Jumpin' Jalopy Coffee, whatever the fuck. They have a place they work out of, right? They have a storefront, they brew coffee from one spot. Meanwhile, Second Cup has like 3 places within like a 10-minute drive. Right? Oh, we have an actual small chain here, and their coffee is bomb. That's the thing. You can find smaller chains, but most places are not smaller chains because there's so many. Yeah, I was like, again, back to think of like there's. I'm looking here. We actually just. I was like the two, or like nearly the 2 farthest away ones. I think this clump. Yeah, so within, at most, a 25-minute drive. So with a 10 and 20-minute drive, there are... How many fucking shops were there? Jeez, more than I thought. 3, 6, 10, 15? 15 different second cup places? I mean, hell. These two are probably like fucking... This area is 5 or 6. Yes, within a 5 or 10 minute area, there's 5 or 6 fucking like second cups just along that strip. So yeah, of course it's gonna seem like there's way more of them. This is a like massive chain. This is not including Tim Hortons. This is not including Starbucks. It's not including like fucking McDonald's. So when they're as prominent, which seems to be broadly the case. Alright, cool. So within 15 minutes of any given location, you're gonna have 4 or more chain coffee places. Right? Meanwhile, maybe like, yeah, no, there's like a 30-minute drive, like given an area. There's like the local specialty small batch brewery. Right? They exist. in most like bigger towns, they will exist almost certainly because there is a very important market for it. But there's a very big market for coffee. There's a lot of available demand. There's a lot of fucking big chain coffee places. Although this is mostly conjecture, right? I've not actually looked super deep. Because I know that there are also like things that look like smaller scale. 1 mile apart from the sea. God damn, that's rough. Yeah, I've also got like, I would be like, what the fuck am I trying to say? What are my words? Right. I just double checked. The thing that I figured was the local small town, like small, what do they call themselves? Give me your fucking... I think it might be small batch brewery is the term. Basically, small chains, right? Like they have a couple of locations, but they are locally owned. You're not going to have more than, like, you're not going to go above a half dozen, if that. Right? Local place, Starbucks, 7 Brew, local, Starbucks, in a grocery, local. Oh, in terms of, like, how far away they are? Here's also the thing. There can be places where it's like, is it actually local, or is it just a big company, like a big, long, like huge fucking chain, and there just happens to only be one in your local area, right? My local chain, yeah, they have 3 locations, but they're all like not too far from each other. It's def local? Okay. I'm not gonna say you're fucking wrong, to be clear. But again, it's the thing of, yeah, yes, like, there are a lot more big chains. It's not because there aren't small local places. The demand for coffee is so great, particularly demand for nice, like, local, like, or the nice cafe experience. There's gonna be places. No. This looks nice. Locations. Yeah. I was not specifically doubting you. I was that okay was like genuine before of like, yeah, sure, I think it's local. But I guess yeah, that's the thing of like these, especially like one of them, I think 2 of them, but one of them more specifically does not look necessarily local. Dogs. Mere have a beer. The idea of like being coerced and being like, ah, fuck that, here, come over, we'll have a drink. That is funny. It doesn't matter of like, how doxxed can you be by like the city, right? It's one of the problems with knowing that I am on the paranoid end of the caution curve, like the scale, because, like, fucking hell, where, okay, I know that, let's say if we're talking like a number between 1 and 100, guess the number, and knowing that, like, okay, 100 is definitely gonna be pretty far from, like, the midpoint, right? Or whatever the defined point is. You know vaguely where it is, let's say. Oh, drama attitude wasn't where you bought me. Please don't! I appreciate your cavalier attitude, but I do appreciate you understanding, like, my own concern for it. especially if you're trying to be a content creator. Like that, like, I appreciate not being. I appreciate you being cautious, even if it is for my sake, or even particularly because if it's for my sake. Yeah, again, if I know the point of uh-oh is somewhere around the middle, okay, I know 100 or like 95 is too cautious by a comfortable margin. But we don't know, well, I don't know how generous around the middle is. And if around the middle is a pretty wide margin and it's on the higher end, suddenly 70, 75 is like the uh-oh mark. Oh, these news deaf anonymity. Stream will be the only thing that me for my YouTube account. Right. And also, again, that might be fucking... That's probably to fucking tamp down my own paranoia a little bit. That's almost something to be fine. Because it requires such immense dedication to... Like, even like, oh, it's just the chatters and like the people who are currently watching. It's like, okay, cool. Like, a dozen people actively, maybe. And they need to, like, what, remember it? Randomly find this one fucking stream? Go through all of them? Like, the number of people who are actively dangerous on the internet is not that high. It just, the internet allows for those people to get around like you wouldn't believe. But not here. Here it's like, I don't know, the whole history of ever, maybe a couple hundred? If we are being incredibly generous to people who watch through streams, like we're fucking 2.5 hours in. Yeah. I don't know. I am quite comfortable staying on my end of paranoid. Which is borderline untrue, but not quite untrue. So. For some reason. Honestly, it might be like any of the same reasons you're still watching, right? Again, I said before, I am also not someone who's in chat super regularly. No, maybe people in chat are my other regulars. Like people who have been in chat. If you have been, hello! It's not like a call like to force you to talk or anything. I just want to like say like, I can still remember you all. I appreciate you being here. If not, I also appreciate being here. It don't matter, it's fine. I do think it does. Honestly, part of like a comforting factor of it is, like I said before, I know some of it's bots, and so it doesn't feel necessarily real. But I know some of it is real because, like for example, at the end of streams, I will see the number take a noticeable dip at the waiting room because ain't nothing to watch anymore. So. But the idea of like, oh yeah, no, you have, let's say, let's be sort of like a little past the medium point, like a dozen people actively watching you just yap and yammer and talk while having fucking Skyrim fishing away in the background. How does that make you feel? That's probably gonna be fucking anxious. Most of it's real people? Yeah, maybe. Like, is that a question that can probably be answered? Yeah, probably. And then like it's real people, like how people are actively watching, how they're in the background, yada. I'll just linger and not try. Just linger and not trying to bypass chat. Maybe they are trying to bypass chat, and YouTube is just better at dealing with it. Seems unlikely. True. But again, if I looked at it and go like, oh my god, holy shit, 20 people, oh my god, oh no, I'm gonna get fucking nervous and anxious and be more concerned about keeping the number up and being consistently massively entertaining. And really, I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just hanging out, really. And if I concern myself with trying to make the number as big as possible, shit. I would have made fundamentally different choices in terms of content, at the very least. And, yeah. it's more comfortable, I guess, to look at it as more nebulous, I guess. Right? I think this natural growth will last. Ah, ha ha ha, my friend. This has happened before, though. You forget. It's see. You want it to fall off? Oh, probably not. There's only so far I could fall anyways, but especially compared to how shit started. Nah, like this is not. Right? Like this would be a hell of a peak to fucking find out like I've hit the limit. That seems unlikely because for different reasons, not just well, hey, that seems like there's not much to fall. I guess again you could point out like in terms of regulars that are genuinely consistently in chat like almost every stream and therefore almost all stream. You 91 places? Oh yeah, appreciate the faith. Really genuinely I do appreciate the faith in my ability to eventually get to places, but regardless, what was I saying? Dang it, fucking thing. Right. Not only is it unlikely that this is going to be like some peak, also, as I think I mentioned in the video, or at the very least when I posted the video, I mentioned it in like the Discord and the social media posts. The scalpel swords were one of a couple big projects that have been fucking dragging down my production schedule. I have one more to finish by the end of the week, which I talked about before, and I have a plan for this week. After that, I'm hitting some of the D&D videos again. The D&D changing one. The ones that I could actually keep. So watch that vid. What? You haven't had a solid like 40 minutes to drop on a video that's not even necessarily what you come to my fucking channel for? Unbelievable. Hey, do watch it. If you actually bother to watch the whole thing like actively and not just put on the background. You actually want... I would appreciate like any... like words of encouragement because that's just fucking good for the brain chemicals. But also like actually any notes of like this like here that felt weird or like oh your mic is a little bit chewy like that you might that would probably be the best thing to like fix. So I don't fucking know. I guess before like or I started saying before at least like being able to or getting advice for like oh hey here is where you could do better more specifically. Or here where like it might be the best to invest time. Give notes. Do I have any? Oh yeah. The answer can also be like, nah, seems good to me. Just more, I guess. I guess also a heads up if it's not content you would otherwise be interested in. That is an important note for any kind of criticism of being, well, it's not really for me, but I can do my best. Regardless, I mostly, like, that is, of course, if you watch it actively. If it is not your thing, and you want to support me anyways, to just, like, put on the background, also fine. Put a comment there just to, like, drive engagement. But, besides that, big one, we already have a plan for. And then it's gonna be back to fucking D&D. Objective, gotcha. Cheers, I appreciate that. Yeah, Scalpel is done. Next video will be done this week. Fucking hell. I say that so often and it keeps fucking but I have the plan now. This time. I know it'll work. I've experienced more recently. Please. Then get back to D&D ones, which I actually was getting out once a week for a bit there, where I got, you know, like body slammed by the video I'm currently working on. Trying to get that one out by a certain deadline. And I didn't. And then Swordtember came around, and then I put the current project on hold to do on that. Also didn't happen on time. Hooray! I think I mentioned it before, but yeah, getting one project done a little bit, 100% done a little bit late is apparently not my style. Getting 3 projects 80% of the way done horrendously late is much more my speed, apparently. Just fucking shoot me. Yeah. Pebbles. the one that I'm trying to pretend is a secret, I guess. Back to D&D, and then technically there's other, or not technically, there are other new ones were popping off on the subscribers. It was! Like, they were doing really good, and then I fucking fell off the face of the earth for 6 months. The schedule, again, as I mentioned before, but posting things consistently is really fucking helpful. Both for algorithm reasons, and also just for 2 other important factors. One, buckshot, basically. Just throwing things at the wall until, I guess machine gun is more accurate bullet variety. So that if each one gets a certain number of views, each one is going to, or a certain number of subscribers, each one is going to get the same amount, or around the same amount. So our project, actually a year-long project, we should release in September, work on it when you have time. That'd be better. And I think probably what I want to do, basically just like as a hobby that I record, so that at the very least, when September comes around, I don't have like I don't have to do all of it at once. Although, what I'll probably do is a more classic Swordtember, like what I did the first year, where it's a challenge. I get a day to work on each build. The reason is very specific. It means that if I end up, for one thing, it gives me a much more manageable time frame to try and estimate, like, okay, how much do I need to get done at a certain point? How much do I need to do this? How much do I need to do that? It's much easier to estimate. It also means that I cannot get project scope necessarily in the same way, because I got a day. If a part of the project is going to take me, like, I'm like, ooh, I could do this, and it takes me like an extra hour, already that's probably too much fucking time. Even better, though, it is a fucking day. If I don't do it in that day, tough shit. I fucking mark it down as I didn't quite do it. That's a big shame. That is still content, importantly enough. I still have all the swords? Yeah, I have them in a fucking pile right in front of me right now, actually, because I still have not found a good place to store them. Oops. Yeah, done in a day. If I don't do it, oh well, that's still content. I post a thing saying I didn't quite do it. Oh well, on to the next one, because I need to be doing the next project the next day. Right? Unlike with this Swordtember, where I gave myself a week to do 4 of them, now it feels like, okay, I have a full week, and I post a thing that says I didn't do it. Fuck. I'll execute sword one day if you'll let me. I'd probably want to get like a more like refined version of it than if I was going to sell them. I suppose the one itself would be like a cool collector's piece. But I don't know. Like, it's an idea, but I think I would definitely need to be a bigger channel. You want the one? Yeah, sort of what I thought was like the collector's thing. Right? Because even if a lot of them are rough as hell, if it's the thing. Was your request? That is true. It was also your request. It was a good request, too. I like that one. I think it did suffer a little bit from being so early on. But it also gave me a shot to try out the engraving. Which is also another point for the weekly thing, or the daily thing. It forces me to just do it. And if it sucks, oh well, I did it. And I learned more about doing it. So that by the end of it, I made the Anduril sword. And it was much nicer. I didn't quite get to the engraving on the guard. Or the blade, I think it might actually be. But it got done to a certain point. Again, it's a daily project. If it's like, even just like 4 in the afternoon, or like 6 in the afternoon, and I don't have the engraving done, oh, don't get somebody, it's reliable, right? Plus for the channel, I go back to like a specific, even like 3 p.m. we'll even say. If I'm making the sword and I get to a point where it's like, okay, I have the build done, I still need to finish it, I still need to paint it, I still need to record and edit the fucking, or the voiceover and edit the video. I usually just script it. Like, I don't have the time to also engrave it, right? And because doing it over a month, I already made 29 of them. 30 of them maybe? I don't know how many days were in October specifically. 30 of them. I knew how long painting was gonna take. I've had fresh memory of it. Unlike with stuff like for this September, where it was like, it's been a year. I'm like, oh, I could probably get painting done like that. You know, streamer not going for it. If I want a hyper-realistic build, I'd probably go to channel for that. Right? That's what the problem is. I do want to make good stuff. But again, see why this September got delayed 5 months, whereas last September was, even on the build that didn't quite hit the mark, I could pretend they hit the mark, but I'd just be like, cool, here is a partially finished one, good enough. I think even the full video, where I went back and finished the ones that didn't actually get done. God damn it. I finished the 2 that I hadn't gotten done, and that one took me months to do. Because it's easier to get lost in the horrifying Crystal Time Prison that way. Yeah. The actual daily nature of Sword Timber was what helped make it work so well, even though that month was also fucking brutal on me. It also massively helped my fucking subscriber count. So, again, quantity does in fact have a quality all its own. In fact, way to the back to the conversation of like, oh, you don't want to make long-form content. Shorts and clips are pretty good still because you can do them really fucking quickly, comparatively to like other content. Because you already done most of it. It's the stream. Yeah, definitely not. Also, your idea of like doing it throughout the year is not a bad idea. But a few TikTok creators go back to every year for Vertian content. Creators that go back to every year for Vertian content. Oh, for certain content. True, yeah. That's on the other thing on like the content creator sphere is like being a specific kind of content creator versus being a variety one. But oh god, the tire just hit me all at once, I think. In the brain. Oh, like annual Christmas trends. Ah, gotcha. Wall approaches. The wall is fucking here, and it got hands. God. I've been streaming for fucking 3 hours. Oops. Whoops. Uh-oh. What the fuck were we talking about? Why not matter? I know I said I was gonna fucking say a thing before the end of stream. I think we've got like 3 different tangents by that point. Which always happens with chatting streams. Chatting streams are also good, though. So... like an hour ago? That makes sense. Actually, properly close. What the fuck have I even edited? Oh, I added in at least. Getting shit done, so there. Literally just I added in and out like the footage I have. Makes sense. I was not planning to really edit that this stream. Shut that down so it's not. It doesn't start yelling at me horrifyingly. So my laptop does like doing that sometimes, where it will very clearly not be off, like fans whirring, all that stuff, but it won't like turn the screen on. Very fun that. Regardless, thank you all for coming. Thank you for staying with me in chat, Camel. I hope to see you all again next time. I look forward to the video whenever that happens. It'll probably be a lighter stream schedule next week on account of I need to get that shit finished. But I don't really have a button necessarily. Hopefully the video will be out. It need to be done for a birthday, which is a spoiler for anyone who fucking knows what it could be. Technically, it's one of those hints where it's very obvious if you know, but if you don't know, you're kind of fucked. Regardless, thank you all for coming. Hope to see you all again next time. Take care of yourselves out there. take care of each other. And kind of just under the 3-hour mark. Bye-bye.